Hello, Kenneth Hollins here with HollinsMusic.com and MyKeyboardConnection.com. Thank you so much for taking a few minutes and viewing this video. I want to especially thank all of the subscribers to this channel. I really do appreciate you taking the time and watching the videos that we post and that we upload. And for those of y'all that you may not be a subscriber, I encourage you to do so. I really believe that as we post videos in the future, you're going to find them to be very beneficial, and they're going to be videos that you enjoy. So again, I just want to thank you for taking the time and watching. Now, what I have for you today is something that I love to do, and I call it expanding minor 251 progressions. Expanding minor 251 progressions. Now, I believe most of us are familiar with the major 251 progressions, and the 251 progression is probably the most common progression in music. So it's important to understand what that is, and it's important to understand how to do it. And then once you get a good understanding of that, you can start to explore the minor 251 progression, and that's what I want to talk about today. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to demonstrate what the minor 251 sounds like, and then go back, break it down, and show you how you can implement it into your music as well. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to use the song Perfect Peace by Marvin Sapp. Really nice song. I encourage you to check it out on YouTube. Perfect Peace by Marvin Sapp. Really nice chords, but it has the 251 progression in it, and I'm going to use that to explain it. Okay, here we go. Okay, all right, I'll stop right there. Now, that's just the first part of Perfect Peace by Marvin Sapp, excuse me. Now, this song right here is real nice, and the intro again is now this is where the choir comes in. Perfect Peace. Now here's the 251 and 2. This is the 5, and that's the 1. Okay, it does it again. Right here. That's the 1, okay? So now what exactly is that? Now that's what you would call a minor 251 progression, okay? Now specifically what I did was this. Okay, so this is the 2, this is the 5, and this is the... Now again, this is the minor 251 progression. And what I'm doing is I'm expanding it, okay? Normally, if I just played it the normal way, the way that it falls within the scale, it would be this. Which is nothing wrong with that, okay? That's it in its simplified state. okay? This will be the 2, this will be the 5, this will be the 1. But I expanded it and used this chord, going to this chord, going to this chord. Okay, so now how did I come up with that? Okay, now in order to understand this, it's important to also to understand the natural 2-5-1 progression. Okay, I know most of you all that are watching this, you probably are already familiar with this. So this lesson really it's a little bit past a beginner. It's more of the intermediate player, but anybody can understand it though. But in order to understand the minor 2-5-1, you got to have a pretty good understanding of the natural 2-5-1. Okay, what do I mean? Okay, so we all can be on the same page. The natural 2-5-1 is based upon a major scale. Let's use C for an example so it can be easy to see. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's just simply the C major scale with the scale numbers, okay? And what we do is we take the scale numbers and we build chords on those numbers. So if this is the first note of that particular scale, we're going to build a chord on the scale. And we use that note, and that note, and we build a chord. So this is our first chord, or this would be the 1 chord, okay? And then we do the same thing. We go to the next note of the scale, and we build a chord. First note, okay? So this would be the 2 chord, 3 chord, 4 chord, 5 chord, 6 chord, 7 chord, 1 chord, okay? I know most of us know that. And then if we want to expand this and move from a triad, which is a 3-note chord, to a 4-note chord, now we have, this is the 1 chord, 2 chord, 3 chord, 4 chord, 5 chord, 6 chord, 7, and then 1. So the 1 chord is major 7. The 2 chord is minor 7. The 3 chord is minor 7. The 4 chord is major 7. The 5 chord is dominant 7. The 6 chord is minor 7. The 7 chord is minor 7 flat 5, and then back to the major 7, which is the 1 chord, okay? Now, if you don't understand all of this, like major 7 and minor 7, flat 5, even when you hear people talking about chords like dominant 7, sharp 11, flat 9, 13, if that sounds like a foreign language to you, don't feel bad. It's not that difficult. It just needs to be explained. And I recommend, I have a video that's in my store right now that I believe will really help you and break all of that down and make it simple. And it's called Understanding How Chords Work. Okay? Go to my website right now, hollandsmusic.com, and you can go to the store and find where that video is. Understanding How Chords Work. You can download it, watch that video. I really break it down, go into detail, how those chords work, how you build chords, the jazzy chords, the big chords. I explain it, the ones we use in gospel music. I really encourage you to pick that up, and it's going to really help bring light to everything that I'm talking about, okay? So the natural 2-5-1 would consist of the 2 chord, jumping to the 5 chord, then to the 1 chord, okay? So that's the 2, 5, 1. All right. So now that's in the key of C. Now in practical purposes in real music, we would probably play the 2-5-1 like this. Okay, or maybe 2, 5, 1. It'll probably sound something like that. But we want to incorporate the minor 2-5-1. Now, how does it work? Okay, it's the same way as the natural or the major 2-5-1, but it's based upon a different scale. And it's actually based upon what's called the harmonic minor scale, okay, which is this. Okay? It's almost like the natural minor scale, only difference is instead of flat 7, it's natural 7, okay? And so that's called the harmonic minor scale. Now, what we do is we take those notes of that scale and we build chords just like in the major scale, okay? So the first chord would be this, because this is now the scale. All right, so this would be the 1 chord. We keep moving. This would be the 2 chord. We keep moving. 3 chord, 4 chord, 5 chord, 6 chord, 7 chord, and back to the 1 chord again, okay? So the 1 chord is minor, major 7. The 2 chord is minor 7, flat 5. The 3 chord is major 7, sharp 5. The 4 chord is minor 7. The 5 chord is dominant 7. The 6 chord is major 7. And then the 7th chord is diminished 7, okay? Then we're back to the 1. Now, a lot of times what a lot of musicians would do on the 1, they would take a liberty. Instead of playing this natural 7, make it just a minor 7 or even a minor 6, okay? So when you hear a minor 2-5-1, for example, in the key of C, a minor 2-5-1, it'll sound like this. Okay, if I want, I can make that minor 7. So, okay, or if I change the voicing, okay, so that's like a minor 2-5-1. Now, say for example, you're playing a song that has that in it, and a lot of gospel songs have that in it. You know, you could just be playing something. Okay, I just did one. So for example, if we were like in the key of B flat, I'm just really just playing some chords right here. So A to D to G. This would be like 2-5-1, a minor 2-5-1. If G was the key that we were looking at, the 2 would be that to that to that. Okay, so that would be like a minor 2-5-1 progression. Now, in the context of what I played, Perfect Peace, now I'm looking at Perfect Peace like it's in the key of E flat minor. Okay, so this would be the E flat harmonic scale. So the 2 would be F, the 5 would be B flat, and then the E flat would be the 1, okay? So normally, the 2 would be a minor 7, flat 5 chord. This is F minor 7, flat 5, going to a B flat, dominant 7, to E flat minor. Okay, so that's normally what you would do. Okay, I guess in the context of the song, Perfect Peace, then, okay, I don't know if we want that sound. We want to kind of make it a little bit jazzier than that. So Perfect Peace, and okay, this is one of my favorites right here. All right. And that's real common in gospel music, that sound. It's a song, For Every Mountain, by Kurt Carr. That's in there. For Every Mountain. There it is, right there. Okay. Okay, so it's all over the place. What's that other song? Okay, when the saints go to worship. I did a tutorial on this other day. Then right there, okay? It happens to be in the same key, but you use that chord all over the place, okay? So how am I coming up with that chord? How am I thinking about it? What's an easy way to do it? Here we go. Technically, let me give it to you in terms of technically what it is. This is minor 7, flat 5 with a 9. That's the G is the 9, and then the B flat is the 11. Okay, if you look at it and you break the chord apart, if I did this with my left hand, the F, A flat, and B, it looks somewhat like a diminished chord, okay? Now with my right hand, I plug in this, that looks like an E flat major chord. So it looks like diminished with the left hand, major with the right. Okay? All right. Now, let me give you another way to think about it. What you can do is whatever the root of that particular chord is, you play that note, and then you build a diminished chord on top of that. And a simple way to do that is to play 3 half steps above it, like this. 1, 2, 3. Okay? And then you do it again. 1, 2, 3. And then you do it again. 1, 2, 3. All right? So I just built a diminished 7 chord, and it's real easy. So you play the root again, whatever the root of the chord is, and then you count 3 notes. Don't count the F, count after the F. 1, 2, 3. Okay, now we're on A flat. Don't count the A flat, count after the A flat. 1, 2, 3. Then do it again. Don't count the B, count after the B. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so that gives us the diminished 7 chord. Now we take this last note that we just played, and we move that up 1 more half step to that, which is E flat in this instance. And then we play a major triad on top of that. And that's how we came up with the chord. Okay? So that's a real easy way to do it. See that? Okay? And what I like to do is once I know the notes of the chord, I experiment with the voicing or the arrangement of the chord. So same notes. These are 6 notes. F, A flat, B, E flat, G, B flat. All right, and this is what I did. F, E flat, A flat, B flat. I have E flat again, so I have E flat twice, G, and B flat. But it's the same notes as that, and that stacked on top of each other, okay? So that's an easy way to figure out the 2. And then if we want to fatten up the 5 of the minor 2, 5, 1, what we can do is we can play the dominant 7 chord with our left hand. And in particular, I like to do the root 3rd flat 7 with my left hand. And then I find the 6th scale degree of the root of this chord, which would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, which would be G major. And then you play that, like that. And you can invert the G major chord. You can invert it up. Same 3 notes, we're just changing the position, or invert it down. Okay? I like that sound better. And then I typically like to take whatever the root of the chord is when I'm doing this and make it the top note as well, and then fill in the rest of it. Okay? So that was an easy way to figure it out. Okay? Let's see if we can do it in a different key now. the minor 2-5-1 in a different key. So let's say, for example, we're in the key of A flat. And we're playing a song. Right here. Okay, so that would be like a normal 2-5-1 type of minor 2-5-1 progression, something like that. Going from the G to the C to the F, okay? Now, if I want to expand it using, you know, this little technique I just gave you, this is what we're gonna do. So we're gonna take the G as the minor 2, C as the minor 5, and then F as the minor 6. So what we're gonna do is use a little diminished trick I showed you. All right, let's build a diminished chord. 1, 2, 3. Let's keep going. 1, 2, 3. We're gonna do it again. 1, 2, 3. All right, and remember, we're gonna take this note and bring it up a half step to F, and then play a major triad on the F. And then we put it all together. Okay? Let's play around with the voicing. See what we can come up with. All right, and so we're doing this instead of just the regular minor 7 flat 5 is the 2, okay? And now let's go to the, instead of just the regular dominant 7 on the 5, let's try what I just showed you. So we do dominant 7 with the left hand. I'm leaving the 5th out. And we're gonna find the 6th scale degree of the root of this chord, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we're gonna play that major triad like that, okay? We can invert it like that. And then we can put the root in there if we want to. Okay, real jazzy sounding chord. And then we can go to the 6, okay? All right, so what did we come up with? We came up with, instead of, so if I'm in the key of A flat, normally I do something like that. Okay, but using this technique, it sounds more like this. Okay, if I can reach it. And then, okay, it really expands the sound of your chord. It's something that you really have to sit down and experiment with, play around with, but once you really get a hang of it, it really can open the sound of your music all the way up, okay? So that is expanding minor 2-5-1 progressions, okay? I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up, comment on it, make sure you subscribe, and then you always can go to our website, Hollins Music. I encourage you to subscribe on the website too, and we can send you free lessons directly to your email as well, okay? And you can go to our store. We have a lot of different resources, full-length videos, short videos. It's so much there for piano and organ that I really believe will really help you in your playing, okay? Again, thank you so much for taking the time to watch and to view this. It really means a lot. And always remember, HMPI, we're serving gospel musicians all over the world.